So you're looking at your first IFRS S1 report, and maybe it feels a little daunting, especially if you're an SME, right? Well, good news. There's actually a super clear, manageable way to get through it, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to break it all down, demystify the core rules, and really focus on the amazing first-year reliefs that are basically designed to make your life a whole lot easier.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the core rules, then jump into your first-year playbook. That's the good stuff. After that, we'll dig into a tricky technical point about estimates versus errors, and we'll wrap up with how you officially state your compliance. Let's get to it.
Okay, first things first, the core reporting rules. We gotta understand the baseline before we can really appreciate all the reliefs that make that first year so much more manageable. So one of the biggest principles in IFRS S1 is all about alignment. It's pretty simple, actually. Your sustainability disclosures, they have to line up perfectly with your financial statements. Same reporting period, published at the exact same time. The goal is to create one cohesive story for anyone looking at your company. Okay, here's another big one. Comparative information. Basically, you can't just show this year's numbers. You have to show last year's numbers right alongside them for context. Now, you can probably see why this is a huge headache for first-timers, right? Where do you even get that data? But stick with me, because there is a fantastic relief for this very problem. All right, now we get to the really good part, your first-year playbook. The folks at the ISSB knew that starting from zero is tough, so they built in some massive transition reliefs just for your first report. Think of it as a friendly on-ramp to full compliance. So, how many of these game-changing reliefs are there? Three major reliefs available just for your first year. And we're not talking about small tweaks here. These are significant allowances that are going to make a huge difference. Okay, let's unpack these. First up, delayed reporting. That whole pressure to publish everything at once, gone. For year one, you can publish your sustainability report after your financials. Huge sigh of relief, right? Second, remember that whole comparative data headache we talked about? Well, poof, it's gone for year one. You are totally exempt. You don't have to provide any prior period numbers. And third, and this one's a biggie, you get a climate-first option. Instead of trying to boil the ocean and report on everything, you can choose to focus only on climate-related risks and opportunities. How great is that?
Now, here's the catch, and it's an important one. These reliefs are absolutely fantastic, but they're a one-time deal. They're only for your first reporting period. The idea is to give you a runway to get your systems in place. Come year two, the standard rules, like providing comparatives, kick back in.
Okay, let's get a little technical for a second, because this is a super important detail you have to get right. It's all about what you do when you have to change information from a previous period. You've got to know, is it an error or is it an estimate? Because how you handle it in sustainability reporting is, well, it's a little different from what you might be used to in financial accounting. So what's an error? Think of it as a straight-up mistake. You had the right information available at the time, but you either didn't use it or you misused it. Maybe a calculation was wrong, you read a report incorrectly. Basically, you got it wrong and the right answer was right there. Okay, so how you fix these is totally different. If it's a real error, you do what you'd expect. You go back and restate the old numbers. Simple enough, just like in finance. But, and here is the part you need to remember, if you're just revising an estimate because you have better information now, you still have to go back and change the prior year's number. This is a huge difference from financial accounting, where you typically just adjust going forward. For sustainability, you revise the past to reflect what you know now. All right, we're on the home stretch. We've done all the work, used the reliefs, and now it's time for the final step, officially stating your compliance. This is where you formally declare that you've done everything right. And the standard is very, very specific about this. It requires an explicit and unreserved statement of compliance. This isn't just some legal jargon you stick at the end. It's a powerful declaration. It's you putting your stamp on the report and saying, yep, we followed all the rules. So what does unreserved actually mean? It just means you've complied with all the requirements. No picking and choosing what you feel like doing. But, and please, please hear this, using those first-year reliefs we talked about is totally fine. It does not stop you from making that unreserved statement. Those reliefs are part of the rules for first-timers, so you're still playing by the book. Okay, so let's wrap this up with a final thought. The ISSB has handed you, especially if you're an SME, this amazing toolkit for your first year. You can delay your report, skip the old data, and focus just on climate to start. So the big question is, what are you going to do with it?
Is this just a box-ticking exercise to get through year one? Or do you see it for what it really is? A strategic opportunity. A chance to build a rock-solid foundation for your sustainability reporting, setting you up for incredible success down the road.